Okay, in this video I'll show you guys how to install this add-on GoB, which enables you to bridge the Blender and ZBrush so that you can import and export models from both the softwares. This is the GitHub page. It is free. It is open source. You can also contribute to the plugin if you can. So I'm going in this web page. You can see all the details of the add-on. So you can read through to know the features. And to download this add-on, you have to come here, the latest release. I'm going to click here, and here it shows the recent change log, what are the features added, removed, and under here if you come to the source code, if you press this button it will download the plugin. I already done it, so I'm not going to do it again. Okay, coming back to Blender, I'm just going to install this add-on as any other add-ons. Go to the preferences. If you're in the recent versions of Blender, go to the add-ons, go to this add-on section and press this install from disk and search for GoB. Okay, I'm going to now the add-on is installed. As you can see, there are few settings which we have to change, but first we will install this add-on in ZBrush also. So come here to this troubleshooting tab, and you have to press this install GoB button. If you have ZBrush opened, I suggest you to close this ZBrush, otherwise this will give you an error. So I'm going to press this install ZBrush. Yeah, first you have to give the path for ZBrush. So go to this options, click here, and you have to select where the ZBrush is installed. You can have multiple versions of ZBrush, and you have to specify the version of ZBrush which you want this plugin to link to. So I'm choosing ZBrush 2025. There are a few other settings you have to change. I'll come back to it later. So go to the troubleshooting tab and press install GoB. It will start. Okay. Once this is done, we have to copy some files from the add-on folder to a specific folder for ZBrush. Open the add-on zip file, and inside that you will see a folder called Blender. So you have to copy that Blender folder into users, public, and there will be a folder called Pixology. Inside this you can see all the GoB apps. Here you have to put this folder. So by default ZBrush won't have the GoB plugin for Blender. It has GoB plugin for Cinema 4D, 3ds Max, Maya, Photoshop, but it won't have it for Blender. So to get it here, we have to copy the file from the plugin folder, from the plugin zip file to the folder that I mentioned. Once you copy it, you have to restart the Blender. Once you restart the Blender, and I'm just going to open some random files, the recent file in my lightbox. So yeah, so if I go to the preference and go to GoB, now you will have a path to Blender. Okay, now now we have to connect Blender to ZBrush like we did ZBrush to Blender earlier. So you have to come here, update all paths. So it's going to load for some time. After some time you will have this pop-up. So no version of Blender found. You have to click on browse, and you have to select the Blender version. You can have again multiple Blender versions, but you have to specify the version which you want this plugin to connect to. I'm going to go to Blender Foundation. Okay, I'm going to go to 4.3. Right now I just have one Blender version installed, and I'm going to choose the Blender EXE. Okay. Now it will ask also for the other software, like for Cinema 4D, Maya. I don't have any of them, so I'm just going to click not installed, not installed, and not installed, not installed. So now the work is basically done. So we can go back to Blender. Okay, now how to use this plugin. So to export any model from ZBrush, you have to enable this import button. Okay, once you click that and you have go to the ZBrush, here you can choose any subtool. I'm going to choose this one, and anytime you use this plugin to export any mesh from ZBrush, it's going to export the lowest subdivision level. As you can see, this model have 6 subdivision level. So if I choose it, if I keep it in subdivision level 3, and if I press this GoZ, okay, this GoZ button will export the currently selected subtool. Next to that, the button which says all, if you click that, it will export every subtool in the list, and the other one is visible. So that visible, as it says, it will only export the subtools which are actively visible. So I'm going to press this GoC button, and it will show this pop-up. I'm just going to press don't show again, and it will process. Now if you go to Blender, as you can see, it imported, but as you can see, the model is very tall. Blender usually have this issue importing any objects from any DC software. Generally, if you import an OBJ file, you have to scale it to 0.1, sorry, 0.01. Yeah, then you will have the actual scale. This is the actual scale of the model. But you can't. But there is a way to make this plugin do automatically every time you import. So go to the plugin, and here in the options window, in the options section, choose the scale to manual, and you have to scale it to 100. 10 is the maximum in the slider, but you can go beyond. You just have to type it. So 100. Once you type it to 100, you can maximize, and I'm going to try it again. I'm going to press GoZ, and as you can see, now it imported in the actual scale, 180 centimeter. Okay, this plugin will also import all the polygroups from ZBrush as a vertex group or face sets when you go to sculpt mode. As you can see, it imported everything as a face set from ZBrush. As you can see, the colors may change obviously, but you will have all the polygroups as a face set. You can also import it as vertex groups. You just have to go to the preference import tab, and there is a section called polygroups to vertex groups. Just click on that, and now if I export from ZBrush, hopefully, yeah, it imported all the groups in ZBrush as a vertex group. You can check them by going to the weight paint mode and scrolling through all the groups. So this is very useful whenever you make a small edit in ZBrush. You can update the mesh. You can send the mesh to ZBrush without losing the polygroup data, which is very cool. So I'm just going to show you guys how to export from Blender to ZBrush. I'm just going to make a quick edit. Okay, so in ZBrush, this is the original mesh, so I'm just going to tell it higher temporarily, because it's going to project when you export this base mesh from Blender to ZBrush, it will update all the details. So if you have millions of polygons, the projection will take some time. So I'll delete the project now. To export this mesh from Blender to ZBrush, you have to press this export button, but that will only activate when you click a mesh. And another important thing is the names should be same. In this mesh, the mesh name is Retopo3, and here the mesh has the same name. For example, if this mesh has a different name, say Retopo6, and if I try to export from here, it will send a new object called Retopo3. As you can see, this is from ZBrush. So to avoid this, you can have the same mesh name. It goes both ways. So in both ZBrush and Blender, it should have the same name. So now if I click the model and press export, so here it will ask this, do you have to project the details, and I'm going to press yes. After a while, yeah, now we have the new updated mesh with all the polygroups data with the updated topology. So this plugin is very useful to go from and between Blender and ZBrush to make any quick changes, because as everyone knows, ZBrush is not too friendly to model small details like a retopology or something. If you have any error in your retopology when you did in your topology when you did retopo, this is a quick way to fix, because we can do these small quick edits in Blender so easily. Then we can actually do in Blender. So that's it for this video. And another final important thing is, when you export, because this model has face sets, it exported these face sets to polygroups in ZBrush. In a case where you don't have any face sets, like, okay, now the model don't have any face sets. Now if I export, the ZBrush model will lose all the polygroup data. So to fix this, you can either have face sets always, or you can go to the add-on, and in the export session from the polygroups, you can change the way how the polygroups are exported from Blender. So right now it's from face set. I'm going to change it to vertex groups. So even if I lose face sets, I still have all the vertex groups. So now if I export, now the mesh in ZBrush has all the polygroups. So things to keep in mind, and I suggest you guys to go and check all the settings. Another important thing is, the UV map will be flipped both on import and export, because the way ZBrush reads UV is kind of weird. It always flips the y-axis in UV, if you guys ever noticed. So I suggest to leave this on always in both import and export. So that's it for this video, guys. Hope it is useful. If you guys think this is useful for you guys, please click on the like button and maybe subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.